In the book Right to Remain Innocent, there's two situations in which innocent people they self-incriminated themselves. The first was a 16-year-old who admitted to smothering her baby after 2 hours of interrogation. 3 years later, serving time, she was released from prison because she was innocent. The second is Salvador Rubio, who admitted to first-degree murder and was sentenced to 60 years. The officers pressured him, told him, like, you need to admit to us, like, this is, like, we know you're not a murderer, but, like, in case you get in this situation where you're helping a friend, like, you need to admit. Once he did, they took that information and used it against him and tried him. His lawyer argued his case, but was ultimately found guilty. You shouldn't trust the police no matter what. First, police officers are often telling their children, like, don't speak to an officer without your parent there. Don't speak to an officer, like, don't self-incriminate. You need to call a lawyer. You need to, like, plead the sixth. If you do get in that situation, like, it's their job to convict someone of a crime, and they're looking for a way to get in. They're not going to be honest with you. They're going to say what they need to get you to talk. And if they find you suspicious, like if you mix up the dates on something, they can use that information against you to find you guilty. Other things are that when they go into court to testify, they're not allowed to use information that could find you innocent. They're only allowed to use incriminating information. So anything you say, like even if they know you're innocent, they're not even allowed to say that. The advice he gives for speaking to the officers, which I found really interesting, is don't plead the fifth. You can self-incriminate yourself by not saying anything, by just saying, I'm just being silent. So you need to invoke your constitutional right. You need to say, I don't want to say anything that could self-incriminate myself. I would like to speak to a lawyer. I plead the sixth. Don't lie. Don't say, oh, I don't recall. I don't remember. Say, I do not wish to discuss it. And I want my lawyer again and again and again. Make sure your silence is not used against you. So don't be silent, because even if you are silent, they can use that as, oh, you are thinking of saying something. You just haven't gotten around to it. I think this information is really helpful and really useful. I got called for jury duty next month, and I know he said like at the beginning, like, this is a good book if you're going to be on a jury or you're in trouble with the law. And I'm really excited to like see how it plays in and how it is like relevant to the case. I do think it's interesting. I didn't know that you shouldn't just be silent. That's what I thought, like, that's what you should do. Don't say anything, because if you're not saying anything, then, like, they can't get you on anything. But they can prosecute you because you're silent. So you should never plead the fifth. You should never just be silent. You should say, I want my lawyer. I don't want to say anything that could be taken as self-incrimination. And I think that was really interesting. I think this book's really good. I didn't read the book. I listened to it on audio from the actual author, which I thought was really interesting to hear, like, his enthusiasm in it. And, yeah, that's all. I really enjoyed the book.